Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another hot episode of the Single Parents Podcast. This is the podcast for anybody whose life may have turned out a little less than traditional. You got Anthony. You have Steph this week.
I'm back.
She's here. She's alive.
Somehow
We're together
I made
again.
it.
You survived the allergy attack.
Yes. Allergies
man.
on top of just working an insane month of work.
That's yeah.
When I told you guys florists deserve an appreciation day, I really meant that because the last month truly almost took me out.
Get one of those change.org things.
A
those
petition,
petitions.
yeah.
One of those. Actually, you know what? It's election year. So whatever candidate comes out with the platform of if I'm elected president, we will have National Florist Day. And it's a government-approved day off. So it'll be like a 3-day weekend.
Federal holiday.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
I think that's so good. I think that would be perfect. We do kind of sneak them in there for ourselves, I have to admit. Like, we take, like, President's Day off because it's right after Valentine's Day.
That makes sense.
And then, obviously, like, we just took Memorial Day off, so I did get a little 3-day weekend, and I really desperately needed it because I was just telling Anthony before we started recording that before this weekend, I literally only had 2 single days off this entire month. So I really was, and then my allergies truly were trying to kill me. So I was really out here fighting for my life. So
literally,
thanks to Anthony for letting me bail on an episode because I couldn't make it. I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, and I took the people on a road trip.
Yeah.
I survived too. I survived. If you watched last week's episode,
A single parent road trip.
It was good. We made it. I'm still catching up on laundry, even as of today, still catching up on laundry, but
Are we ever not catching up on laundry?
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe
I spend every day of my life catching up on laundry.
Oh my gosh, never ends.
I feel like it's a girl thing though, so maybe it's not so bad for yourself, but you do have 2 girls. But
yes,
me and Olive both. I don't know why. I don't know if it's every girl or maybe if her and I just have a problem, but we change clothes so many times a day. Like,
even you as a grown adult?
Yeah, like because you like have your work clothes in the morning and Olive has her school clothes. And then when we get home, it's like comfy clothes, but then you have to like take a bath and get ready for bed. And then you get in pajamas. So it's like 3 outfits a day every day. You know, sometimes you can sneak by with like a morning shower and then you can get right in your pajamas after work. But
wait, sneak by. Okay, then this is a question I have for you. But a lot of people debate about this. You shower/bather in the morning or night?
Typically for Olive, I prefer night. Like this morning, I had to give her a bath or a shower in the morning because yesterday I really was the most rat girl person on the planet, and I did not leave my couch all day. I had to go get my dog food, and that's the only time I left my house all day. I did a little cleaning. I did try to be a little productive, but I didn't want to, so I didn't. So, but the day really got away from me. I don't know if it's just like, you know, when you start to get into like that summer vibe and it like gets darker later, but we were just like hanging out outside playing. Like she was playing, I was hanging out, like just reading my book. And I realized like I went inside because I was like, I'm going to do the dishes from dinner really fast. And I looked at the clock and it was like 7:15 already. Ooh. And I really, in my brain, it was like 5 o'clock. So I like, thought I had so much time. I did not. So I had obviously had good intentions to like give her a bath before bed. That didn't happen. So she did get a shower this morning, but I really most of the time prefer for her to shower at night. But yeah, me personally, it's whatever the vibes are.
So you don't have like a set, because some people are very hard on the fact that like, nope, you need to be clean before you get into bed. Some people, I'll just be honest, like myself, I need to shower in the morning to like wake myself
for your
up.
Day, yeah.
If I don't, then it's different. The vibes for me are different in the morning if I don't shower. But
I can't commit to like a routine. Okay. I don't know why. Like I really can't. And it's like either, and this is, I don't know, don't say I'm gross for this. Like, and I don't care. So don't even come at me. But if I shower in the morning, then I don't have to shower that night. Right. But the next day I can choose if I want to shower in the morning or at night. So at least, I mean, I'm showering every day. Okay. But it's just going to depend. Yeah. You know, but I actually love like a nighttime shower. But sometimes, you know, when you're just like so cozy and you're like, and I really think this is, I don't know if it's like an ADHD thing or like whatever my problem is, but sometimes I really just like the thought of like going and taking a shower and doing all the things that like taking a shower requires.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that right now. So that's tomorrow's problem. I'll do it in the morning. Like that's not my problem right now. But I hope people don't like aren't like, wow, you're a freak. But
well,
you know, it's whatever. This is real life.
On the internet, so they'll say that. It doesn't mean it's true.
Maybe it is. I don't know, but I really don't care, and I'm not going to change my habits for anyone.
There you go. You know why she's not going to? Because she is in her hot era, just like me, just like all of us on the Single Parents podcast for like what, the last 6 months?
Yeah,
gosh,
we've really been out here.
We've been out here for this last 6 months, and that brings us today. Very special day on the show. It is the season finale.
I wish we had a little noise machine.
I should have. Actually, somebody was telling me, somebody was like, you need to like get
like
one of those
soundboard
button things.
Yeah.
Where it goes like, oh.
They have like an app, because I saw a TikTok that like it's a real problem that like middle school kids are like downloading this app and like putting the sound effects on during class. I don't know how I ended up on Teacher Talk. I respect it.
You
I think
finally
it's
got
funny.
there. I've been on Teacher Talk for days.
I follow this girl.
Why.
I don't follow her, but she shows up on my For You page all the time, and she talks about like things her 8th graders said to her this week, and it's so out of pocket. And I have so much respect for middle school teachers, because I genuinely don't know how you guys do it. So if you're a middle school teacher, I think you deserve everything in the world.
Right.
But a lot of them have been talking about this like soundboard app, and it plays like all the sounds. Like it plays that like you guys know what I'm talking about, and then like horn sounds and like womp womp, like all these sounds. Like, and I think we should next season we're coming back with a soundboard.
There's a promise for next season. Yeah, I think I was on TikTok or Teacher Talk for a while, but now I'm on like sad boy dating talk, to where it's those ones where it's like mostly it's a guy or it's a girl, but they're sitting in their car and they're like, if you want to find somebody, here's 3 steps you got to do to attract somebody.
Oh, God.
Number 1, if they text you, this is how long you got to wait before you text them back. Number 3, this is how you respond to their Instagram stories. Number 4, this is the energy you need to be putting out in order to, like, all these like games you need to play to attract.
God.
And I'm like, first of all, algorithm, like, what are you trying to tell me? And then number 2, like, I don't have time for
nobody has time for that.
Like
Nobody
that.
has time for
I don't like, if I like, I'll text you back when I remember to text you back,
right?
Or when I can. It might be in 3 seconds. It might be 3 hours. I don't know.
I think it's so funny too. Like people put so much emphasis on like, oh well, I have to like wait a certain amount of time. And I'm like, I promise you, I will see, and I will admit I'm so guilty of doing this to Anthony all the time.
Oh,
but
let's get into it. I've been waiting to get into this. I've been waiting to get into this because I had a conversation with one of my coworkers when I was supposed to be working, but it wasn't. Hashtag stealing from the company for the company. But I was talking about you to one of my coworkers, talking about the podcast and just friends in life. And I'm like, I am doing this show. It's going really good. Been hanging out with Steph more and more. We're cool. But I'm like, Bree, my friend's also name is Bree. Shout out to both of the Brees in our life.
I was like, what did Bree do?
Not this Bree. Friend of the show, Bree. She'll probably be back in a couple episodes. From now, I know I said it's the finale, but she'll be back. I'll talk more about that in the second, what we have planned for the summer. But anyway, so talking to my Bree about, but I was like, but I don't know if Steph really likes me. And she's like, well, why? It sounds like she's vibing. And I'm like, well, it's because like when we're in person, like you guys are probably like, duh, we get it from the show, but like we can talk and talk and talk, and the vibes are good. But when Steph texts, it's almost like she's a completely different person, because how much she talks and how like her energy is not how she texts. And so I'm like, is she just like putting on an act when we're together? is like her text version of herself, her true like feelings
That's the
towards
real
me? So like, speak on that, because I've been actually meaning to bring this up for the sake of our friendship.
Our friendship is hanging on by a thread because of my texting habits.
You are all like the mediator right now. We're like in group counseling right now.
This is an intervention for me and my texting habits. I don't know why sometimes, and I think I told you this one time before, but sometimes literally the thought of having to like carry on conversations through text is so overwhelming to me. And so I always am like, I'll see a text come through and I'm like, I'll just respond to that later. And then I'll leave it on. I won't open it because I know if I do, I'll never respond again. Like I literally will completely forget that text existed.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. Like, unless, if I'm like really into a conversation, it's different. But if it's just like chatting back and forth, sometimes just my phone notifications pop up. Like it makes me feel so overwhelmed and so overstimulated. And so sometimes I'm literally just like, I can't do this. And I don't know if it's just like a product of like mental health issues.
Sure.
But I sometimes I truly like I'll be having a text conversation and I'm like, I can't do this.
Okay.
I literally can't do this. And it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. It could be my mother who I love with my entire heart. And I'm just like, I can't do this right now. I can't text you. But I'm like, in person, I have no issues, like just like chatting and chatting and chatting. But sometimes through text, I'm just like, nope. I don't want to talk. Okay. I don't want to do this. And it has nothing to do with whoever it is. So if it makes you feel any better, I do it to everyone in my life.
Yes, okay. No, that does make me feel better.
And I try really hard and I know when I'm doing it, but it's like one of those things where like, even though I know that I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't have any energy.
Okay.
I feel like sometimes my phone really just like drains me in such a negative way. And I'm just like, I can't continue having this conversation. Yeah. And then I'm like that jerk that just like leaves people on red for an eternity. And I'm like, I don't ever, and I really am so bad. Like I never give a reason for it. I just
like, good. Cause I'm the opposite. I love texting well, it depends on who it is. Cause I love like joking and doing bits over texting. And it's just so funny to me. Cause like I'm like a writer at heart. So like I can like write out like this is hilarious. I can actually articulate how I want this to sound. On the podcast, sure, I could like be funny, but like when I write this like text, it's hilarious, 10 out of 10. And then not even just you, but like when people are just like, or like or
like super dry. Because I know I can be
or
super
something
dry
like that,
sometimes.
or just don't respond. I'm just like,
I
had a whole, not even just like, okay, like I'm like, I wanted you to respond in a certain way because I had like 3 more parts of the bit to plan out.
You already had the whole conversation planned out in your head.
I had a whole journey I was going to take us on.
That's the thing is like we're on opposite ends of the spectrum on that. We're like, I'm like, if I'm texting someone, it's like to get a point across and like to get a plan and that's it. And then I'm like done with it.
Okay.
And like, so like, like I have my girls group chat and sometimes we do like have like little bits in there and like we'll like chat for a while. But even that, like we'll text for a bit and then like someone will like FaceTime the group and we'll like all talk over FaceTime. Okay. And I'm like, I love to talk on the phone.
Yeah, you've said that.
But I like the act of like actually speaking to people way more than I like texting people. I want you guys to know that there's a bee.
I know. I just heard it buzzing out the side of my ear.
And I'm so scared of bees. And I'm trying really hard to be brave, but...
You got this. You got this. So brave, so strong.
I thought... This is like a side note, but I really thought that like the first time I got stung by a bee that it would cure my fear of them. It did not. And I told Anthony this story and I'm just going to tell it to you guys really fast because... It's kind of funny, but I'm traumatized from it still. But I've never got stung by a bee till I was like 28, probably. My entire life. Went my entire life without getting stung by a bee because I have an unhealthy level of fear when it comes to bees. I also had convinced myself that like I was deathly allergic to bees. The first time I got stung by one, I would die. But that's not true. I didn't die, thankfully. But
thankfully, the
way that I got stung by a bee for the first time is so traumatic. I used to play adult league softball, which is how I tore my ACL and it's a whole thing. But we were out playing a game one time and obviously like adult league softball is mostly like, we call it like the beer league because you're there to drink and have fun. Like it's not really about the sport. Like some people take it seriously. I don't, but you're there to drink with your friends and it's like nice. It's like summer nights and you're having fun. Anyway, I have a drink, much like this open can. I go out to play out in the field and come back to take a drink and a bee was hiding. Oops. If you're on, watching the video, it was hiding right inside the under lip of my can and I didn't see it. It was like a hornet and I didn't see it. And I took a drink of my drink, drank the bee. This is still traumatizing to talk about. I'm so stressed still to this day. Drank the bee like into my mouth. And then I panicked and like went like, like blew my cheeks up because I like panicked. It stung me inside. I can't remember if it was my top lip or bottom lip. I think I just blacked out this whole experience.
Probably.
Stung me inside my mouth on the inside of my lip. My lips swelled up like so huge. So I'm sitting there at this softball game, like with like ice on my lip. My good friend Ari, actually, because I like sent a Snapchat, of course, to all my friends and was like, look what happened to me. She like came over with Benadryl for me, but it was really traumatic. And that was the first and only time I've ever been stung by a bee.
Yep.
And now I thought that I would be less scared once I got stung, because it's like one of those things. It's like a fear of the unknown. But now that I know how it feels, I'm more scared.
And I've never been stung by a bee in my life.
It hurts. It really does.
Bee virgin, a virgin.
I hope your first sting is not inside your mouth, because I've never met anyone who has a more traumatizing first bee sting.
That's a pretty intense first time.
Yeah. Can you imagine just like the feeling of a bee inside your mouth?
No.
It's not good. I'm sorry, guys. It's so scary. Anyway, sorry. I'm a terrible texter.
Yep. I'm glad we worked that out.
So I come across as a real asshole.
If anything, over the 6 months of us doing the show, we finally
I'm surprised you never said anything if you've been thinking
about
this.
Because I had to go to many, many sessions of therapy on my own. And finally, my therapist was like, you have your season finale coming up. So what you need to do, Anthony, you need to be brave. You need to be strong. You need to finally admit this. And so I get to go back to my therapist
I did it
next week and be like, I did it. I confess. No,
and she doesn't hate me.
Yeah.
And I honestly think, that's like a really hard thing for me when it comes to like dating, because I know you have to like when you're like dating someone new, like you're like texting each other and like getting to know each other. I hate it. I'm so sorry, but I don't want to know what you did today. I don't care.
Okay.
Like I really don't. And like I do care, especially if you're someone I care about. But like the thought of just like texting someone all day and like being like, oh yeah, like I'm on my way to the grocery store. And then it's like, oh cool. Like I had to go to the grocery store too. And then it's like, oh yeah, like groceries are so expensive. And I'm like, oh, I don't care.
That's fair. I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword with that. And I think maybe that's probably like I'm hashtag still single and 30, almost 40-year-old man still single.
God, you're not almost 40. That's so dramatic.
Nobody loves me. No, I'm just kidding. Well, my kids love me and my dog. Yeah. Okay, stop. But I can be good at that because I'm so good at like asking questions and keeping conversations going. But what I've been told by some female lady suitors in my life is that like, well, okay, yeah, but I just didn't feel like I never like actually got to know you as like a person. Yeah. So like I could text all day, I can keep it going, keep it from getting dry, but then I'm like, well, why didn't she want to like commit? What's going on? And she would say something like that. And so like I don't really know, I guess, how to balance that to where
And I feel like sometimes it's hard to like get into like, oh, like this is like my childhood trauma and this is how I am, like I do get that. But it's so funny. I literally had this conversation with my coworker today, like literally today. And I was like, it's so hard because I get like, you like go on a date with someone and you want to like keep that line of communication open and you want to like keep it moving forward. But I'm like, how do you do that in a way that's like, okay, I want to get to know you. Like I want to keep having these conversations with you in a way that doesn't get so monotonous, because I literally, and I seriously, this is why I don't date, because I hate it so much. Like I don't want like a good morning and then like, oh, like I'm getting ready for work. What are you doing? And then, oh, I'm on my way to work too. Oh, I have a busy day today. So do I. Like, please fucking spare me. Sorry for my language. We're drinking White Claws, so Anthony's
it's kind of like the Mimosas episode, but it's
we didn't even share that with you guys. We haven't even gotten there yet.
It's if you're just like an audio only listener, you're like, why are these guys acting extra goofy today?
Yeah.
Well, it's the season finale, so we can do whatever. And it's our show, so we can do whatever.
And I'm so sorry. I always try. in my normal life, I really do swear so much, and it's such a bad habit. Right. But I try really hard to like contain it on the show, because you never know who's listening, and
you never know.
You also don't want to have to like mark our show as explicit just because I can't.
There's
keep
sometimes
my mouth
every
shut.
time one of us will drop the F-bomb, like I have to change the setting.
A lot of times I don't notice that I do it, but it's because I really swear so much in life.
No, you're good.
And I always laugh because people like swear in front of Olive, and they'll be like, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like, Olive has been hearing the F word
I asked
since
you
she
when
was
we
a
did
newborn.
our like Am I the Asshole episode, I was like, is it okay if she hears this word a lot?
Yep.
And you're like, no, it's cool.
She knows what bad words are. She won't say them. She's
really?
like a bad word Nazi.
My kids will say them only if they're like singing songs that have them. Like
Olive is such a goody two shoes. She'll literally
they were listening to Gwen Stefani's this shit is bananas.
Yeah.
Beat, and
they're singing right along.
Can we say this? Like, this was last week when we were on our travel trip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know the rule, like if you're singing in the car, like it's whatever. Because they know it and they know the context of it. Like
right.
They're not going to say it at school, so I like whatever. Maybe, again,
and
judge
I think
me,
kids
whatever.
do better if they like know what swear word. And if it's not like this elusive thing. Olive, is such a goody two shoes, and God love her for it, but she'll be like reading a book. Like she was reading like the Junie B. Jones series.
Yeah.
And it said like loser or stupid or something in it. And she literally came up to me and was like, Mom, like showed me, and she's like, am I allowed to read that?
Like, not my kids. They're singing that song, but we were doing it when we were driving through like a halfway point between my home and the destination. There's like some small towns.
Yeah.
And so we had to pull into those towns for gas, and that's when they were singing that song. So we weren't like on the like highway or whatever. We were cruising through this town 35 miles an hour, and they have their windows rolled down, and they're like, this shit is bananas.
Screaming it out the windows.
And they're just like vibe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people are probably like, but I'm like, you know what? It's a vibe in here. It's cool. It's nice.
Olive really like she won't, and she doesn't care if people swear around her. Like she's not one of those kids that are like, that's a bad word.
Right.
She knows what they are. Honestly, Olive was like the best swearer of all time when she was a toddler.
Okay.
Like, and she would like swear and use correct context.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny back then, but everyone was like, you just wait. And I'm like, and then she got old enough to like understand what swear words were. And now she's literally like, oh, you can't say that. And so like when she was reading and she was like showing me, like, I think it was stupid. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, Olive, stupid in general is not a bad word, but it depends in like how you're using it.
Sure, yeah.
I said, it's not kind to call people stupid. But I said, if you're doing something and it's annoying you and you say, this is stupid, depending, don't say that at school.
Right.
But whatever, you know, like you can have a little freedom. But like, I'm like, you shouldn't call your friends stupid or you know, whatever. But I'm like, stupid in general. That's a big sneeze. Stupid in general is not a bad word. And so like Olive is so scared of swearing. I don't know where she gets it from, because I know her dad swears around her too. I mean, I guess he used to. I don't know if he still does, but I mean, we've always her entire life sworn around her. So I don't know where she got this like moral high ground from, and like good for her. But she really is like so scared of accidentally saying bad words.
Right. That's so funny. Oh, people, super, super thankful for you all as I kind of just think back to the fact that we've been doing the show for 6 months this year. Very glad you all have stuck around. Very glad you all have shared the podcast, subscribed to the podcast, left reviews of the podcast. At the end of the episode, we'll kind of talk about what we have planned for the summer. So you're still going to want to do all those things, because we're not, just because this is the official season finale until like August, doesn't mean we're done hanging out with you all, bringing you all content. But right now, we're just kind of thinking back to the last 6 months, things we've kind of talked about, especially with this whole theme of this year, or at least this first half of the year for the show being the hot era.
Right.
Just to recap, if you're like, okay, I missed that part, what does that even mean? Basically, what I did as I was prepping for the show back in November, December of 2023, I just started doing some research as to like what type of content is out there for single parents. And going through TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that, like there's like cool stuff out there and helpful stuff. But what I noticed is that a lot of it is like very like melodramatic and kind of a downer and sad music and like, oh, you'll things will get better. You'll find somebody one day. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I want this theme for this year to be hot era season because, like, first of all, there's people out there who are single parents who are 1,000% content or maybe even chose that by choice. And so they're not looking for, like, who can come and rescue me from this area of life. Yeah. They're like, I love this. This is awesome. Or just, too, like, if maybe, like, you do desire to, like, be married or be in a relationship and you're a single parent now, out of not choice, but like relational stuff has kind of broken down and you've gone through like a divorce or like a death and now you find yourself being a single parent, for you to be able to look in the mirror and be like, you know what, for who I am right now, I am hot, I am legit, I am worthy, I can feel confident and have confidence in myself when I do look in the mirror right now. And that, so like if you notice some of the episodes we've done this year, they've been around like doing goofy stuff, like me going to that Taylor Swift party, just getting out and about, having fun. Us doing the Mimosa episode, the Am I the Asshole episode, like all that stuff is just to say like, hey, like we can have fun and we can smile and we can joke and we can party as single parents, regardless of the fact that, you know, we're not married or something like that. So that's kind of a breakdown of the hot era. But a big theme, I didn't even prep Steph for this, so this is going to be a little test for her. But a big kind of sub-theme running through the course of the season has been, in fact, Miss Taylor Swift herself. So like I mentioned, I went to a whole party. When I went to like this thing with my sister, it was like this whole Taylor Swift party. I tried to get some phone numbers, but instead I caused injury to this girl. Oops, I'm sorry. She hasn't sued me yet for that, so that's pretty good. And then my that whole road trip last episode I took, my girls were singing Taylor Swift in the car, and then Steph actually live on the show gave us her review of Taylor Swift's new album.
And I said the wrong name, and it's been haunting me ever since.
What did you say?
Well, it's the Tortured Poets Department,
Yeah,
but
what
then
did you say?
oh my God. I've had like half a White Claw and I'm fighting for my life.
You still have another one over there.
I know.
You better not
this might go downhill really fast for me. Probably because I had one burrito this morning and I haven't eaten for the rest of the day, but
that'll do it.
Anywho, it's the Tortured Poets Department, but then she was like, I almost said received again. Anthony, cut this out.
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
All right, I got it. I got you.
She dropped the like part 2 sister album, and it's called.
And you just forgot it. You brought it up and you couldn't even remember.
I called it The Alchemy, but that's not it.
That's not it?
That's one of the songs on the album. I even commented on our social media post and I was like, I'm a fake fan.
I remember that.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right now because this is really going to bother me.
We're fine.
I've listened to it like literally 10 trillion times. It's the anthology. Oh. That's what the part 2 is. I kept wanting to, and she has so many songs on there. Like there's The Alchemy, there's The Albatross. And so like all of these A names. And so I got confused and now I feel like a fake fan, but I promise I'm not a fake fan. I love Taylor Swift. Anyway.
Well, we're going to put you to the test for that because we're going to do a little.
What if I'm a fake fan?
We're going to do well, I guess we're going to find out. Did that beat get you finally?
No, but it just flew right by my head. I'm so scared.
Oh, it's by your leg.
Oh my God.
It's gone. I think it's gone.
Okay, it did. It flew away.
It's gone.
Sorry.
All right, we're going to do a little finish the lyrics. So I'm going to read maybe a line or two from a song and then you've got to finish. You got to finish this.
Okay.
And I'm going to read it in
really
like the most
lyrics.
monotone voice. Number 1, just because I can't sing it, but number 2 because I don't want like the
you don't want to give it away.
The song give it away. All right,
I feel like I'm going to do good.
You can do extra points if you sing
I won't be singing.
Just don't sing
crazy.
too good, otherwise we'll get a copyright strike. So you got to balance that a little bit. All right. Okay. Here we go.
Can you tell me what album they're off of? No hints.
I have no idea.
All right.
You might know. I don't know.
I'll know.
I just Googled.
I have faith in myself.
Here we go. 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. Finish that.
Baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. Now take a look what you've done. 'Cause baby, now we've got bad blood.
Hey.
That's off of 1989.
Oh, you know the albums too. Okay. All right, so you're 1 for 4. I think I have 4 in here.
I was so nervous, but that was good. Okay.
Okay. Is that the first one? Okay, here we go. Cause baby, now. Oh wait, that was I already read that. I'm sorry.
Same one?
Maybe those White Claws are hitting.
Are they stronger than usual?
They might. I don't know what they put
God.
in those. Okay, here we go. Now I am down bad, crying at the gym. Everything comes out teenage petulance.
That's it? Okay.
You gotta finish it.
Fuck it if I can't have him. I might just die. It would make no difference.
Well, it says what? The one I got. Maybe this is the clean one.
That's the clean version. I'm so sorry. Again. Oh my God. You're going to have to mark this episode. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's the season finale.
Well, that's the version I listen to because I'm not.
But you got it.
Old. That's honestly one of my very favorite songs.
I know.
Off the new
That's
album.
why I picked this one. So I figured you have to know that.
You had to throw me a line with that
I had to give you that one. Okay. Oh, this is my favorite song. All right, I got to make sure I don't sing this beat because I like this beat on the song. And now he's long gone when he's next to me, and I realize the blame is on me.
You doing this one? This is like a random part of the song, too. This isn't even like the chorus.
Yeah, these last two are might be a little tricky.
Hold on. Say it one more time.
All right, I got to make sure again, no beats. And he's long gone, and he's next to me, and I realize the blame is on me.
I don't know if I know this one, and I know I'm going to be so mad because I know as soon as you tell me I am going to know it.
All
this
right,
one's stumping me
because this is my favorite song.
Give me a little beat.
Okay. And now he's long gone when he's next to me, and I realize the blame is on me. Cause
is this Bad Blood again?
No, the blame is on me. Cause I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Shame on me now.
I was gonna know it.
That's my favorite. I
knew. I was like, I know I'm gonna know this as soon as you say it. That's also another 1989.
I like this song too. Okay, this might be tricky though because these words don't really go anything close, in my opinion, with the beat. You might think.
Okay.
All right. Whiskey on ice, sunset and vine. You've ruined my life by not being mine.
Okay, I do know this song. This is a vault track?
Sure.
I'm sure.
I don't know what that means.
I'm pretty sure this is a vault track.
Okay.
Whiskey on ice, sunset on vine.
Mm-hmm. Sunset and vine.
You've ruined my life by not being mine. Oh my God. I know this song. This is going to make me so mad. Also, for my friends listening that know that I'm so bad with lyrics, this is truly the hardest.
Oh, okay.
I really am one of those people that I just like sing whatever feels right.
Fair enough. So we won't judge you too hard.
What if I can just tell you what song this is?
You can tell me?
Maybe. Can you give me a beat on this one? Do you know the beat?
Yes.
Sing it a little bit.
Okay.
See if you can sing it for me.
Whiskey on ice, sunset, and you might be mine. Ding. I can give you that part.
The ding.
Oh, that's not how it goes.
Not you sabotaging me.
Your so is the next one.
I don't think.
Okay, I can sing this part.
I know that I know it, but
you're so gorgeous. I can't see anything.
It's not a vault track.
Face.
It's a Reputation track. This is why. Gorgeous. This is how you know I'm an OG Swiftie because I haven't listened to the Reputation album in so long.
I didn't know that. I just picked songs that I know both of us like.
Yeah.
So, oops.
I haven't listened to that one in so long because she hasn't released Taylor's version yet, and I refuse to give my streaming.
You know what? That's fair then.
Yeah, I won't give my streams to Scooter.
Scoot McNally?
We're not going to say his whole name because I don't want to get copyrighted
it's like
something.
Voldemort. We don't say.
Yeah, he who must not be named. I was listening to. I don't know if you've ever watched. There's a YouTuber. His name's H.T. Hayes, and he reviews music albums. Mm-hmm. And one time he said something, and he was like, "Oh, this song is about someone, and his name rhymes with Pooper Braun."
Oh my God.
So, Pooper.
Ooh, you guys
hear that song. I won't listen to it because I don't want to give him my money, but I do know. I want everyone to know I know those songs.
Well, you did pretty good. You did pretty good. I would not have gotten most of that. I don't know. I just know. what my kids sing, I know like old school like Teardrops on My Guitar.
Of course, what a banger!
Classic.
What a classic. I listen a lot to folklore.
Okay.
And the new album, and I also love Red. Like, had you given me a single line from All Too Well 10-minute version,
yeah, I would have got that. You would have been good.
I've listened to that song so many times, it's probably like unhealthy at this point, but
fair enough. Next season, subtle plug. We'll do this again next season.
We'll do a redo.
Okay, yes, we'll do a redemption.
Maybe a sober episode.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Easy.
I feel like my brain's not working.
But you still only have one can.
I know.
You guys heard me open that other can.
We have to take a break because I have to go pee.
We're back from the bathroom. Steph's back from the bathroom.
I feel much better.
We didn't
go together.
Just in case, you guys, calm down.
That's not something we do as a team. No, it's a solo job.
No, that's an individual effort. But you said you went to show. Steph went to the bathroom. She had an epiphany. On the maybe we're not so like solo as I thought.
Yeah.
But she had an epiphany on the toilet, and she's going to share that with us right now.
Okay, I thought about this, and this is like, let me know your opinion on this, because I think this is really like a woman-specific thing, okay. But I still want to know like your thoughts on this. So I don't want to call out anyone specifically, but as a woman, especially someone who's a mom, and especially someone who's a mom to an only child, I see this all the time, and it just happened recently, and it really annoyed me. But people will be like, "Oh, how many kids do you have?" And I'm like, "Oh, just one. I just my daughter." And they're like, "Oh, do you think you'll have more?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, well, what if you start dating someone and they want kids?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Then don't date me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't want to have any more kids." And it's always like, it's never just like, "Oh, okay."
Yep.
Like, it's never just like taking the answer at face value.
Yep.
It's like, I have to like explain myself and like why I don't want to have more kids. And I've known literally since Olive was a baby that I didn't want to have any more kids. Like, all my whole life I was like, "Oh, I want to have 2, one of each." And like, that's like what everyone wants. Right. Yeah. But after I had Olive, I was like, I don't think I want any more kids. Like, I didn't enjoy being pregnant. There was really no part of me. And I mean, at that point, like, my marriage was a little rocky, and I was like, I don't want to get pregnant again. Like, this isn't something I want. And then I got divorced when Olive was 3. And I was like, I stayed semi-open to the possibility, but I did not really want to have more kids. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, my daughter's about to turn 8 and I'm about to turn 30. Yeah. And like, there is zero part of me. There is not one tiny inkling inside of me that wants to have more kids. But it is so frustrating when like you meet someone or whatever and they're like, "Well, never say never."
Yep.
That is the most annoying thing to me on the planet. Mm-hmm. And also I think like it bugs me too, because you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know if someone's facing like infertility issues. Right. Like, you don't know if someone had like a traumatic pregnancy or a traumatic birth story. And like, there's so many things. And I think like, honestly, giving birth in general was traumatic for me. Right. Like, it really, like, it was like, there was like, the cord was wrapped around Olive's neck and she was losing oxygen and I was losing oxygen, and they ended up having to like actually like suck her out of me because like they had to get her out. But it's like, I had a terrible pregnancy. I didn't enjoy being pregnant. I was sick the entire time. I had so many issues and complications and so much stuff happened. And I'm so happy and content with just Olive. Yeah. And that doesn't mean I'm like not open to dating people who have kids. I'm open to like having more children around, but I am not open to personally giving birth to another child. And it really bothers me so much when I have to like defend myself on that. Yeah. And I think like when I was younger, I used to pass it off with people being like, "Oh, like she's young, she doesn't know what she wants." But I'm like, I'm 30 and my kid is 8. Like, it's not like I'm like a 22-year-old that just had a fresh newborn and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. Yep. So what's your thoughts? Because I don't think this happens to men, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no. I'm glad you brought this up because you haven't listened to it because it's not out yet. But so on the last episode, the travel episode, I actually brought this up to the people to talk to you about. So again, maybe we're same brain over
That
here.
is
This
so
is
funny.
Because I brought up the context that I was hanging with my family. I was hanging with my grandma, and she was on the phone talking to her sister. I was just kind of chilling. Just vibing on a beautiful sunny day, and she was talking with her sister about the fact my little brother just had a baby, so we have a new family member, my niece, and they were
so cute, by the way.
You
saw your
she is
pictures.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes. She it's nice to be an uncle. They were just talking about the fact that like, hey, like Anthony has 2 girls now. My brother Corey has a girl. When are we gonna get a grandson? And of course, I'm in the vicinity because I'm sitting next to my grandma, and my grandma like looks at me and she's like, she's just so blunt. She's like, boy, you can still have kids, right? Like basically insinuating like I didn't get snipped or anything, and I'm like, yes, I can still have kids.
Still possible,
and
right?
she's like, okay, so you could still be the one to give us a grandson, right? And I was just like, oh, like I guess like technically like I could and whatever, but it got me like thinking about the fact that like, I mean, I didn't like bring it up in that moment because her and her sister started talking about like her soaps and her stories after that, so they didn't really care about
the
that.
Stories.
The stories.
That's my favorite thing
They
ever.
had
My
to catch up on their stories. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, like again, and I said this on last week's episode. Technically, yes, I can still have kids because back when I first became single after my divorce, there was actually a good amount of people who were just like, dude, just go get snipped, then you can go out, and then you can kind of party, and you don't have to worry about it, and you can do you, whatever. But me being lover of all things women and respect and conversation, I was like, well, like, I get that point, but, like, I want that to be a conversation that I have if I have a partner, like to have that together. So if we're like, hey, together, we're good, I'm good, because I'm good. Are you good? And she's like, yeah, I'm good. Then cool, I'll go get the surgery tomorrow. But like, I guess I just didn't want to walk into a relationship being like, hey, like, I like you, I think we could be together, but I've already made this decision. So like, sorry, I guess like if you don't, but like, I don't know if that even makes sense. I just kind of like wanted to like leave it open. But if you ask me, if you're, I'm being like selfish or whatever you want to say, I'm good when it comes to having more kids.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even think, to be honest, I would end up with somebody who wants to have more kids. I mean, I guess never say never, but like, I don't think so, because I think
not you saying never say never right after I said
never
I hated that.
Never.
No, you're allowed to say that in the context of yourself. Other people are not allowed to say that for you.
Okay, there you go. But like, because I look at I said this again last episode, I look at my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's 6, gonna be 7 this year. Right now I'm like, dude, you have like 12 more years, and then they're gonna go out, they're gonna do their own life, I mean, hey, if I have a house, they can live at the house, whatever, but like, I'm gonna be like, hey, Maddox, you're 18, I am going to go live on a cruise ship for 6 months, or I'm going to go buy this camper van and go travel, and I'm going to do this stuff. And so, like, I guess selfishly in the back of my head, I'm just like, I look at having a newborn, and they're cute and they're nice, but like, that's just like restarting the clock. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to restart the clock. Like, same thing with you. Like, if I get with somebody who has a kid and whatever, like, cool. Like, I love kids. It's not about the kid. It's about the fact that, like, I think I'm done with everything that comes with having kids.
Well, and I think that, like, maybe because this person recently who said this to me is, like, definitely part of, like, the older generation. And I think that so much of their, especially as women, their worth was surrounded around, like, having kids. And so it's like, oh my God, like, how could you only have one kid? Like, what if you meet a man and he wants to have babies with you? And I'm like, okay, don't date me then. Like, go away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think it's just because, like, there's such a huge difference in, like, our generations and the way that we view things. And so, like, for me, I'm like, I'm good. I'm content. And like what you brought up, like, Olive has 10 more years till she graduates. And I'm like, I picture Olive graduating and me still having like a 10-year-old.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, and even it would be more than that, because even if I was to have like get pregnant tomorrow, Olive would be 9.5 by the time the baby was born.
Wow.
You know? And so it's like, that math wasn't right. She would be 9. But still, I'm like, that is so crazy to me. Like, I would have a 9-year-old
Isn't that
and
wild?
then a high school graduate. And I know people do it all the time. And
it
is doable. Like it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to do that. Like, Olive is having a little sibling soon. Right, and so, like, her dad is doing that. Her dad is, you know, starting over with a newborn. And that's great because that's what him and his wife wanted.
Definitely.
But, like, that's not something I want. And I get so tired of people being like, almost like looking down on me for it. Like, oh, you don't want to have more kids. Like,
you're right.
And like you said, it makes you feel selfish. It's not selfish to like want that for yourself, but people make you feel like it's selfish. Yeah. But I'm like, for me, and the biggest thing for me is like, my worth is not how many children I can bring into this world. Yep. My worth is what I can put into this world, and the child that I've already brought into this world, what can I teach her, and who can she be? And it gets so frustrating, and I try really hard. Finally, I kind of got to the point because it was like turning into this like whole conversation. And finally, I looked at this person and I said, I will have every single part of my reproductive system removed before I will have another baby.
Nice.
And that's that. Yep. But I think like a lot of people don't think about, like, people struggle with infertility and people have reasons, and people have their own feelings and their own, like, people are allowed to make that choice for themselves. If you decided to have 6 kids, that's great because that's what you wanted. But like, don't look at someone who maybe only has 1 child and be like, oh, that's so sad. And I've heard that so many times. Olive being an only child, some people are like, oh my God, she's never like, she's never going to be a normal kid. And I'm like, she is a normal kid. Exactly. She's currently a normal kid. Like right now, as we're speaking, she's a normal kid. And not having a sibling has not affected her in any way. She has cousins. She goes to school every day and meets other kids her age. She gets all of that child to child social interaction that she needs. And it's not affecting her in a negative way at all. What it's giving her is a mom who can focus on her one-on-one.
That's cool.
And I think that's great for her. And, you know, she is now going to have a sibling and she's going to get to have that aspect in her life. And I didn't have to do that. And I think that that's perfect. And I think that that's wonderful. I think it's great. She's going to have a sibling that's not coming from me. I think that's so perfect for her.
I think the thing that I've had to navigate with that is, and be okay with, because I guess, like, I've heard, I haven't been in this situation in a while, but I've heard that, like, once you find your person, like, the things just kind of fit, and like you don't have to like force the puzzle pieces in. But I've had situations where, like, I will maybe date somebody who's like maybe a little younger, like, easy. I'm not a creep, like, not that young, but like a little younger, to where like they don't have kids of their own, and so like we'll have to have those conversations, or like maybe like not serious, but like it'll come up. And like it'll be obvious that she desires to like have her kids, like biological kids and stuff like that. And so if I'm like, hey, like, I understand like the fact that you coming to be with me and me maybe not necessarily wanting more kids means like my girls, Evan, Maddie, are it. And that means like, yeah, you'd be their stepmom or whatever like that. But I know like that could be different from having your own biological kids, because my girls' mom, they still have a mom and she is present and she is active. And so like you coming in, like you wouldn't come in and take her place, or you wouldn't be their mom. You have like a big role in their life, but you wouldn't be their mom. But I know like for some people, like they're like, okay, that's cool, but like I want, using air quotes, like my kids. And so it just has to be like a thing of like, okay, then like I guess like maybe I'm not your person. Everything else we're vibing, like it's cool, but like maybe I'm not your person because I don't think I want to have more biological kids. But I totally understand if you're like, well, then I do want biological kids. I don't want to come in and have the only children in my life be stepkid situation. Right.
Well, and I think that that's something that, like, especially when you're dating as a single parent, that's something you have to really know about yourself, because if you're like on the fence about it and you are dating someone who's not a parent, that might be a deal breaker for them. Exactly. And for me, I mean, that is a deal breaker for me. Yeah. Like, I am not willing to have more kids. I don't want that. Like, it's not going to happen. And so I think it would be unfair for me to be like, well, maybe,
Exactly.
like maybe I could
Right.
change my mind. That's not fair. If I start dating someone who has no kids and is like, I want to have a baby, like I want to have a kid that's ours, like you said, like our kid. And it would be so unfair for me to like go into something and go into a serious relationship with someone and then be like later on the line, be like, you know what, actually, like I don't want to have any more kids. So you're just going to have to deal with the fact that you're never going to have your own kid if you stay with me. That's such an unfair thing to do. And so I think when you are a single parent that's dating, or if you are someone who's dating a single parent, that's like a pretty big, important conversation to have like pretty early on. As uncomfortable as that is. And like, especially like when you first start dating, like you don't want to be like right into like, oh, do you want to have kids?
Right.
Like, but I think it is so important because as a single parent, you're going to be looking at things so much differently.
Yeah.
Even if I go and date someone who's also 30 that doesn't have any kids, that might still be on their goals.
Yeah.
But it's not on mine. And so it's like, I just think as a whole, and my whole point of bringing this up, like, if someone tells you they don't want to have any more kids, don't say to them like, well, you never know.
Exactly.
Never say never. Because I promise you, if you say that to me, and if you have said that to me, I wanted to punch you in the face in that moment, because we know what we want as parents, and especially because we've lived through 8 years now, 9 for you.
This year.
Of being parents. And so I know what it looks like to be a parent to a newborn. I know what it looks like to be a parent to a toddler. I know what it looks like to be a parent to an elementary school aged kid. And so I think out of anyone in this world, I know more than anyone else if I'm willing to do that again or not. And I think kids are great. And I think if you do already have kids and you're okay with a 10-year age gap, go right ahead and do it. Nothing's stopping you. And I think that's great. And I think that's beautiful that you want to have children. But some of us don't. And some of us know that we don't.
Yep.
And it's just so annoying. And I think it's just so judgy. And it almost makes you feel like shitty when people are like, oh, just one, huh?
Yep.
Just one. And I'm like, yeah, just one.
Yeah.
And she's great. And she's the most perfect child I could have ever asked for. And so I don't need a redo. Okay. Yep. She's perfect. And I don't need to try again.
Yeah. This kind of goes back to one of the episodes I did earlier this season by myself before you were on the show. I think it was titled like Normalize Being Single. And then my whole point in that show was to talk about the fact that like, if you want to get married, if you want to do all these things, if you, like Steph said, you want to have 6 kids, like we love it, we stand, like go for it, do your thing. But when I talk about like normalize being single or normalize having one kid or not wanting more kids, it basically just means like you got to figure out what works for you and what works for your context and works for your own desires and preferences and live into that. And we need to normalize understanding where people are with those preferences and not making them feel less than for not meeting a certain standard or fitting a certain image or being a certain like traditional thing or whatever. Like, I think that the world would be a lot better if we didn't say like, hey, you need to look like XYZ. This is what it looks like to be a successful parent or American or blah, 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 blah. But it's like, well, what do you want? What works for you? Where are you at? Let's kind of hear you out at an individual level, and let's have you just be okay thriving as you. I wish more people would do that, because I think that is my biggest, like, I guess, well, kind of segueing into like some things we've been learning over the last 6 months when it comes to this whole hot era stuff, is like, that's one of the biggest things I've been learning for myself, is like, how do I look myself in the mirror and see where I am right now and be truly happy and content with the person that's looking back at me at the other side of the mirror.
Right.
Because like before this, actually, I'll just be straight up, like this is like the first year, 2024, that I've truly woken up every single day, like truly happy and proud of like the person I am in my life right now, who Anthony truly is, without trying to, again, fit into a mold, an image, a stereotype, expectations of what people, like, this is, I finally know, like, this is who Anthony is, and he is whatever, again, using hot era language. He is hot. He is awesome. He's all these things. And that's me. And I can be proud of that. And it's been pretty cool to live into, to where yesterday I was talking to one of my friends, single mom, and, kind of like, I guess, a little backstory. I was at a birthday party a couple of years ago with her ex-husband, baby daddy, whatever. And I was at like a mutual friend's birthday party, and her ex-husband is like this tall, muscular, walk into the room, loud, has to be the center of attention type dude. And I was at this birthday party, and I'm just, me. I'm a little dorky. I'm a little goofy, a little quirky. I'm just that type of guy. I'm not like the alpha guy. And I know that, but I admitted on the show, like, I struggle like with thinking I need to be that in order to be seen and valued. So a couple of years ago at this party, I'm there, he walks in, the people at the party, of course, give him like the attention, and like he's making people laugh, and I'm kind of just there with my kids, and then we kind of leave and like, okay, well, bye, Anthony. But like I kind of left being like, man, like I kind of wish like I could be like that type of guy to like walk into a room and everybody like, oh, look at them, like, how was the gym? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. But that same guy is one of my friends. That's my friend's ex. And so she was telling me about life right now. And she was like, you know what? Like, it's so frustrating because he has the kids these last couple of days. And he's calling me complaining about laundry and how much laundry there is. And he'll just pack their clothes, dirty clothes, into bags and then send them back to me with them. He won't wash them because he's like, these are my only days off. I don't have time to do all this laundry. Why do the kids wear so much? Why do they need so many clothes? And then he complains about like grocery shopping. Like, I have no food. Like, I don't have to go. And then where she lives, they don't start school till like 9:00 in the morning. And she basically got a report from the school being like, hey, your kids have missed or been tardy rather 12 days recently, like, what's going on? And she's like, well, I know it's not for me because I have to be at work at a certain time.
Right.
So my kids are always with me. So it's him. So she was like calling him, be like, why are our kids like not going to school on time? They don't go to school till freaking 9:00. And the days that you have them are your days off. And so there's literally no reason. And then he's like, well, it's just so hard doing this by myself. And so she was telling me all that. And like, I kind of like listened to her and like kind of, I guess just kind of help her process her own situation. But I was like, you know what? This is hot era stuff, because this same guy who a couple years ago I compared myself to, wishing I was like, wishing that I could be like, maybe I should be like as a man. So like, this is the same guy to where now I look at myself and I'm like, well, I know how to do my kids' laundry, and I do it, and I don't send it to their mom's house.
And I get my kids to school.
I get my kids to school like an hour earlier than he has to get his kids to school, and on top of working, because I work every single day. They have school, and I know how to grocery shop. And I know that's kind of might be petty, but I don't care. Like, it was kind of like, so anyways, like in that way, I was just like, you know what? Like, see, Anthony, like you just can be you, and you can be happy about that, and you can be proud about that, because you're doing it, and you're awesome, and you're hot, and so that's my big takeaway, I guess, to sum it up in one story from this last 6 months of living into me. Anything that you've learned about yourself over the last 6 months when it comes to hot era doing you type vibes?
I think, kind of like what you said, I've really just kind of grown into being a lot more comfortable with who I am as a person. And I think we've gotten into such a good flow of things. And like, Olive and I have our routines down, and we have like everything so good. And like, we've got our dog, and we've got our house, and we've got, all the things I always wanted to have. And I think really just like this last year, I really finished off my 20 strong with a really good solid year. And there were some definite low points, but honestly, overall, like, it really came together in a way that like you said, like, I wake up in the morning, and we'll say 90% of the time, because we all have our bad days.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am genuinely like happy, and I love my life, and I am like in a place where I'm like, okay, things are good. And I think that honestly, through like doing the show, I've realized, like, because sometimes I think as a parent, like, you can kind of be really down on yourself and be like, am I doing this right? Like, is everything I'm doing wrong? Because sometimes it really feels like
Oh, yeah.
every single choice. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've called my mom in tears and just been like, everything I'm doing is wrong. Like, every single choice I've made is wrong. But I think through doing the show and kind of like actually just sitting here and talking through things and like why I parent the way I do and why I've made the choices I've had, it's really solidified in me that like I'm not just out here like making choices willy-nilly. Like I actively like think through every single choice that I make when it comes to my daughter, and when it comes to parenting in general. Like I have a reason for why I do things the way I do, and I think that really just like actively talking through those things and like talking through subjects on all of that, and even just like being a single parent and, you know, all the things that we have to do that are kind of different than people in a traditional relationship have to do. It really has helped my confidence a lot in like the way that I parent, and realizing like even listening back to the episodes. Because obviously, like, it's me, it's my voice. Like, I'm the one who said these things. I'm the one who had these thoughts. But sometimes I listen back to the episodes and I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I might be doing an okay job. Like, I might actually be all right at this whole parenting thing. Like, you know, there's always room for growth and there's always room for mistakes. But I think overall, like, it really has opened my eyes a lot to, like, I think we're so hard on ourselves as parents, and I'm no exception to that. And so I think really like listening back to the episodes and listening to, you know, some of the stuff we've talked about and some of the things we've gone over, and I've been like, you know what, actually, yeah, like that was really good advice, and I might be okay at this.
I agree. I think you're awesome. I've been super thankful to sit next to you over these last 6 months and take in your wisdom. And
I'm not a parenting expert by any means, but sometimes, you know,
sometimes you just figure it out, and the bee's back. But
it's right in your face.
Maybe this is it. Am I gonna get stung?
Oh my god.
Oh, that was close to your face.
Oh my god.
I thought it was gonna get me. I thought this was gonna be my first chance on camera. Imagine getting stung by a bee for the first time on camera.
What if you were allergic? Cool. Have you ever thought about that?
Oh no. But,
okay, don't think about it.
Maybe I
don't think about it. It's okay. Don't think about that.
We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So all those good things you said about the show, does that mean you're coming back for another season?
I guess we'll see.
I guess you got to stay tuned. So basically, to let you know the plan going into the summer, we're not going to stop putting out content. I don't love that word, but I guess that's technically what it is. It's we're still going to be putting out what I'm going to call summer sessions. Basically, they're not going to be very long, maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes, where we're just going to check in and we're going to hang out. And maybe there's not going to be like a serious topic, but maybe it's just me yapping as we're getting close to Father's Day. I might share some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Steph's going on a pretty cool trip coming up. She might share some thoughts on that. Actually, she's going on a couple trips. So it might be her turn coming up soon to do a little travel experience.
Also, I have a hard time believing anything will be 10 or 15 minutes because
that's ideal, but
both of us are talkers,
probably
which I guess is good in the podcast world.
For podcasters, I guess it's better than, you know, being mute, I guess. But that's
not
the plan.
A texter, but I am.
She's not a
talker.
texter. But I think that's more authentic. That is true. That is good. That means you're more real. That means you're real. So we're going to be cutting up stuff every single week. So there's not going to be official episodes coming out between now and like maybe end of August, early September. But we're going to be doing summer sessions with you all to keep the train rolling. And then we're going to be just doing some other little things and surprises
some fun stuff for the summer.
You're just going to have to wait and see. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following all the socials. Make sure you have our email address, the Single Parents Podcast at gmail.com.
You forgot the whole thing.
The thing at the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, I was too busy drinking booze. I forgot.
Even on my solo episode, I remembered.
Oops, I'm fired. I got to fire myself. So do all the things. Make sure you're subscribed. And then, use that email address because as we're going through the summer, if you have stories or thoughts, comments, concerns, this is partly why we're not just like cold turkey stopping during the summer, because we know like life goes on. You might have things come up. We might have things come up. And we just really do want this to be a community. So we just want to keep things rocking and rolling. And then officially we'll be back for our new season in the fall-ish. I think we did it. I'm so proud.
When it feels right.
I'm so proud. I can't believe we did it. We did a whole season.
We really did.
I always say, like, we're not like actors. This is not like a stunt. We're real life single parents. So for us to do a full season of a podcast, only missing 1 week because we just needed a little bye week. 1 week out of 6 months as single parents with full-time jobs. I'll cheers to that. That's pretty awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're pretty legit.
We crushed it.
We crushed it. We did it. We're awesome.
It's bad luck not to drink after a cheers.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I thought everyone
I did not
knew
know that. I did not know that.
Bad luck to cheers and not take a drink.
Still learning stuff from this show.
We really did it. We really did it.
We did it.
And honestly, this last month it was really hard to do it, but we did
She stuck it through. And I guess like I do appreciate you, Steph, because like literally people. There were days where, like, I would message her and she would be like, yes, let's do the show. But I know she just either got off work or worked all these days or had Olive and needed to go do this. And literally the only time she ever canceled was when she was like, allergies were killing her.
Yeah.
So
and I really was like,
deathbed.
I would be on here like sniffling and fighting for my life. And, that's what happens when you live in a state where every native plant is your enemy.
I'm sorry.
We made it through the worst of it, I think. I came out the other side and I feel a little better. So
There you go.
It might have also just been like the aggressive sleep deprivation. But
that'll do it. Yeah.
We made it through. I only missed one episode.
Only one
in
episode.
a long time.
So I'm proud of us.
Can never say I'm not a hard worker.
Boom. I don't think people say a lot of stuff about you, but probably that's
people
not
say a
one
lot
of
of stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a whole notes app full of stuff people say about you. Did you know that? I guess that's gonna have to mean you have to come back. Have to come back for the next season because
Hopefully
season.
It's like Steph's so cool. Steph's my favorite person.
We'll talk off camera.
Oh my God, that bee is back.
The bee is back. The bee just
has a vendetta for some reason. It's like, do you think bees are like horses and they can like smell your fear?
I never thought of that. I didn't know horses did that either. I thought that was dinosaurs.
Well, yeah, dinosaurs, but horses can smell your fear. What? Horses know when you're scared of them.
What?
Yeah, that's why they always say.
Thing?
Yeah, of course.
I could have swore that was just.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
No.
Okay, well, I have, and I was scared, and it knew I was scared, and it took advantage of that.
I thought it said took advantage of you. I was like, wait, what happened to you?
Almost ended my life.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's dramatic, but it felt like my life was going to be ended.
You know what? We're going to have to see if Steph's on the next season because like life just seems like it wants to kill her so bad.
I have so much.
She has like so many near-death
We always joke in my friend group that I have so much lore. Like there's so much that like I'll just like out of nowhere just be like tell the most insane story and then everyone's like, that happened to you? And I'm like, yeah. Like it's just normal. It's just part of my story. It's part of my lore. But you have to unlock certain levels of lore, So see you guys. Maybe now I'll see you guys next season.
Yeah. We'll keep unlocking lore. We'll do other things. Anything else you have before we call it a season?
I don't think so. Everyone tell Benny bye. He's right Benny. Here. He's been a little naughty this episode, but we love him. He's our producer.
He's just like, you know what? I don't want it to end, but we need
so
a break.
Sad. This freaking bee. Anywho, we got to go because I'm scared of the bee. So
all right, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up. So we'll see you all next week for the first summer session of the season. I don't know what it's going to be, but you'll see it when it comes out.
We'll figure it out.
And then we will see you back officially in a couple of months for a brand new season. So this has been another, not just episode, but this has been another season of the Single Parents Podcast. My name's Anthony. This is Steph. And until next time, you all out there, just stay beautiful. Have a great summer. Bye.